What's up? What's up? Peace. What's up? How y'all doing? I'm obviously on a stroll, so I'm gonna keep walking while you guys start to trickle in to this special edition of Walk With Me featuring your host, ZaZaAli. We're doing a special palm tree talks because, as you can see, we are tremendously blessed to be in Los Angeles, California, land of 1,000, 10,000 palm trees. Not really, that's what I call it, but I'm so in love with and enamored by palm trees, and I drive through this area all the time, and so I always said I was going to do a walk with me in this area, and I was already over here, and yeah, so here we are. So you guys can take in the scenery. I ain't gonna start talking too much as I'm walking and kind of showing you guys the vibes. I am live. If you up in Ebonics come out quick. If you in LA, don't try to pull up on me or push up on me unless you come in with love and just to say hi and not interfere with my current work situation, because this is work for me. You know, it's a blessing to be able to do what I love and operate on my own time and do what I want to do when I want to do it. But this is still work for me because my spiritual job is to... Didn't I say I wasn't going to talk? Okay, so let me just slow my roll. And y'all could just take in the vibes. There's some beautiful houses in this area. Yeah, but what I was saying is if you in LA, don't try to pull up on me because I am live. And if you in LA, you know exactly where I'm at. One of the beautiful and abundant upper echelon affluent black neighborhoods in LA. And I drive through here all the time. So I wanted to share the scenery with you guys, but to stop and to walk through this area because I drive through here all the time. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Oh, you guys are piling in. Okay. Peace and love, family was good. Richie Rich was good. Diana, how you doing, Queen? What's up in the A? Trinikston. Wait, try Nike Stun or Trinik? Okay, let me just, okay. Nashida was good. Peace and love. At Hall 7286. Peace and love. What's good? Nicole, how? Nicolette, is it Nicole? I see your name all the time. I feel like it's Nicole, right? Nicole Ice. Yeah. Brooklyn Braxton, what's up? Peace and love. This is Blair. How you doing, Queen? My New York to LA sis. Miss Nia, what's good? How you doing? Wahoo HP, peace and love. What's up, true artist? Solomon, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you. Sandra Muhammad, assalamu alaikum, Queen. A long walk, Jill Scott. Yes, for sure. Messiah TV was good. Thank you, Solomon. I appreciate you. Yeah, beautiful views, right? Yes, I'm in the Baldwin Hills View Park area. Exactly. What's up, family? Here in ATL, we miss you. I always have love for Atlanta. Y'all know that. And I'll be back soon. That's always going to be my second home. But I'm definitely happy to be in Los Angeles right now. I have so many wonderful things going in my favor here. And I'm like right on the cusp of breaking into the ceiling or breaking the ceiling of being in having my textbook Ancient People in the Los Angeles School District. And once I crack that code, which is about to happen very soon, then I'm going to crack the code for all of the school districts across the country. And LA County is the second largest school district in the country. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. And I had the books in the car. I was going to start in my car, but true to form, my brain started operating and thinking about a whole bunch of other things. But I wanted to show you guys the paperback version. I have the proof of the paperback version, the updated paperback version, which is a beautiful turquoise. It's like, it's so fly, it's so sexy, it's all the things. So I wanted to show it to you guys, but I'll do a separate promo video just to show you guys what it looks like. And my textbook, Ancient People, is still on sale on my website because I've been trying to work through getting this paperback version proofing process done, as well as with the workbook. There's some semantics and things that I had to change and update and upgrade. But yeah, so sale price on both of those books is still available. And if you shoot me a Cash App to purchase your book, I will waive the shipping price, which is $8. So that information is in the description, the link to purchase the book, as well as my Cash App. And that's there for reciprocity too, because you know I'm giving you guys my time and energy, my mind, my love, my heart, all of the things. And so I always appreciate the reciprocity when you purchase my books and support what it is that I do. I don't have anything in particular I want to talk about. There's a lot going on, obviously. I've been quiet. I've been low to the ground and not doing a lot on social media because, again, the projects that I'm working on, I have multiple projects that I'm working on, creative projects for and with other people, actually 3 now, 3 big ones. And then not to mention perfecting the paperback version and the workbook version of the book, not to mention the continuous work that it takes to maintain a sovereign mind, a conscious mind, to live in a heart-based capacity in the chaos and insanity that is happening in the world. And I know a lot of people think it's only America, and there's a lot of very negative projection on America. What was a post I saw earlier today? It was something like what everybody thought what everybody else thought, what everybody thought the rest of the world was, we're all realizing that America is. Like, nah, no, I beg your pardon. The American government is. You know what I mean? The wicked ones amongst us is and are. But yeah, you're not going to be projecting that shit on me and on my people. And when I say my people, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about righteous black people. I'm talking about high vibration black people. I'm talking about black people that are still tapped in and tuned in with nature, that love God, that love freedom, that love consciousness, that love righteousness, that love beautiful things, the beautiful ones. I'm here to represent the beautiful ones. You know? That's why I'm taking you guys through this beautiful neighborhood and this beautiful community that is laced with abundance. Now we've done a walk with me, Beverly Hills. We've done a walk with me, Rodeo Drive. There's a couple of other really affluent black neighborhoods in LA that I'm going to be taking you guys through so we can explore, because I am an explorer. I really could have been an anthropologist, to be honest. I really could have been an anthropologist because I have a thing. I mean, I know. I don't be trying to flex, but like I have a lot of things that I'm interested in, and I have a lot of things that I'm good at. But a lot of us have a lot of things we're good at. We just don't grow up in families and in a society that is teaching us to cultivate those qualities and those gifts, you know? But one day I am going to start designing and building furniture, and I'm going to get back into my love for interior design and architecture, which I went to school for, and all of the things, because why wouldn't I? If I can become a millionaire from writing books, and I am, then you know I can branch off and take that money and invest in my other skill sets and talents. And that was really important for me in this very large learning curve that I've been through with ancient people. Cost me a lot of time, cost me a lot of stress, cost me a lot of money, cost me a lot of energy. But I started really thinking about my legacy and wanting to put something out that met my standards. So the version of ancient people, that the final versions, yeah, they meet my standards. I wrote the final book for myself. You know, and that's one thing that I really want to impress on you guys and continue to impress on myself is that we should all have something or some things that we are nurturing, that we're studying, that we are learning, that we are leaning into, that helps us to embody greatness. You know, if I say I'm God having a human experience called ZaZaAli, and I am, I know that makes some of you guys uncomfortable because, you know, we have a different understanding on that word that we call God, which has many, many names. The best way for me to say it is I am that I am. But I remember Abraham Hicks saying something to that effect. And, you know, she said it in a way different than Elijah Muhammad said it, but it's, you know, a variant of that, if you will. Starting to think about God experiencing the world through us. So God experiencing the world through the architects and the designers that built these beautiful homes, right? Experiencing the beauty and the limitlessness of like real love between a mother and her son, real love between a father and his daughter, real love between a man and a woman, real love in your passion and your work and the things that drive you. Let me pause for a second here because I intentionally, when I do these walks, I try to avoid hills and inclines because I just don't think it makes for good TV or good media for me to be huffing and puffing while I'm walking. But I'm also in really good shape right now. So I think I should be able to, you know what I mean? Make the trek and maybe go through some of these side streets and so show you guys some of the homes that you can't see on this main street right here. Maybe we'll go and walk through some of these back streets. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn around and go in the other direction and then bust a right on that other side. But I want to show you guys real quick. You can see the mountains there. You can see part of downtown LA. So I'm like, right, this is a great area of LA because it's directly located in the middle of everything. But the mountains being in the backdrop of LA with the beach being right up the street with the palm trees is just what makes this place so special and so near and dear to my heart. Let me tap in with you guys in the chat room real quick. Yeah, I know about the iPad situation with the in the schools. That's something else I'm working through because getting my book licensed is a whole nother element to your point, but I'll save that for another time. Look at that cloud cover right over the sun. So you know that's not real clouds, right? So I'll start back in this direction. They've been spraying all day. And so what we're seeing now that's directly covering the sun is intentional because they spray at the sun. So they're harnessing the energy of the sun, but then they're also, you know, blocking the sun from being able to hit our planet, to nurture our planet, but then to also, you know, shower us with that good vitamin D, which is a big reason why a lot of people have low vitamin D right now because, hell, 15 years ago when I was studying you know, what they call global dimming, they were saying that we're getting 20% less sun than we actually should be. I'm more than sure that it's more than that now, just because I'm a sky watcher, you know? So there's that part. But yeah, that's why it's directly covering the sun, and that's why it looks, you know, that billowing, icky sort of flare out that you see there towards the sun, and then you look in the other direction and it's blue with some scatter lines here and there. So I'm interested in this stuff. I am curious. I care, so I talk about it. But I also know because I get feedback from people who get frustrated at the fact that I talk about it, and they're basically like, you know, why are you talking about the problem? What's the solution? As if I'm the only person on this planet to figure out the solutions. So just know if you ever ask me that, I'm gonna turn that back around on you and ask you what your solution is. Because I'm here for the critical thinkers. You know? I'm here for the people with the kahunas to step up to what this moment in time is requesting and requiring of us. They don't have textbooks here in Ohio. Okay, yeah, saw that. Thank you, Sacred Photography. I appreciate you. Is there a delay with the books? No. If you have an order that is pending, your order will go out this week. It also depends on which version of the book you ordered, if you ordered hardcover or the paperback. I definitely need your help with where to go in LA. It's challenging to discover. There's so much stuff to do in LA. Like there's so much stuff to do. There is a Instagram page called Black Events LA. You should definitely follow that page because they always, tell you what's going on for that particular week, that particular weekend. But there is so much stuff to do here. And for me, nature obviously being number one, whether just going for a walk or a hike or going to the beach and spending time with Mother Nature is, always going to be number one for me. But yeah, there is anything you can think of doing in a major city, you can do it here. I'm going to turn down this street because it's just lined with, wait, let me see if I turn down this street, should be able to make a right and come back up. I want to go to the right and go through the neighborhood. I also have to be mindful of my cell phone because my battery is on 49% right now. I got it on low battery, but still, I got to be cognizant of that. So maybe we'll keep straight right here. Y'all see all them palm trees down there, okay? I'm a California girl, so for me, I have to show you guys the beauty of my state. You see all this greenery. It's about 74 degrees out here right now. It would be 80 if the sun wasn't being smothered. But you see all this beautiful greenery out here. You see all this abundance, right? You see all this life. Just to remind us that the wonderful momentum that Africa is having right now in terms of economics and sort of reclaiming the natural resources and whatnot, which I'm absolutely here for. But Africa is not going to come into her true prominence until she sees that her people, when I say she sees, I'm talking about the consciousness of the people, until African people all across the continent are seen as the best and the brightest and the most important natural resource, because they are. Because what reflects the true essence of what we call the Most High more than human beings. Let me see, I think I'll turn right on the next street. Yeah, we'll do that. Because this is that's a pretty steep hill. I think this next one might be a little bit lighter for me to walk down. I'm just trying to avoid having to huff and puff to get up these hills, because I don't like to talk and be out of breath, That ain't sexy. That doesn't make for good content, So I'm a little all over the place. Let me see. Yeah, the palm trees. Are you going to stop at Simply Wholesome? I'm not, only because I already did a video where I started at Simply Wholesome. And yes, I am not too far from there. It's not right around the corner, but it is very close. Probably like a 15-minute walk from here. But it is very close. If I was driving, it'd be 2 or 3 minutes. But I already did the Slauson and Crenshaw video, walk with me, and I started over there by Simply Wholesome. So let me see. I am that I am. I didn't have anyone to cultivate my gift at this age. I'm creating nice leather bags, jewelry, and earrings, very unique. I've been busy working on everything. I'll be back in Los Angeles. Beautiful. I'm here for that. Have y'all noticed the patterns in the sky? Not just lines, but actual symbols. Yeah, they setting up that Project Bluebeam. I've seen so many. Listen, I don't even know if I want to go there right now, because it's like walking this fine line between staying informed, being educated, informing people, but at the same time, steering my consciousness, steering my mindset, and steering my energy in a way that empowers me and which disempowers them. So it's a fine line, But yeah, the goal is the bigger picture of the white lines in the sky, the antennas all across the planet, and the technology behind them is to create a plasma television like grid in the sky, and then to project different types of savior type figures, be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, be it Buddha, right? That's a whole another level of what we would call World War III, which is a spiritual war. So for everybody that's jumping up and down and all up in arms about what's happening in Venezuela, how China is moving, how Russia is moving, all these people are working together. That's super clear to me. You notice how none of them ain't talking about that shot. You know, if China really was, anyway, I'm not going into that. But the ultimate goal is to create a plasma TV-like grid in the sky so that they can project these holographic images, right? And so you have the drones now that have damn near been perfected in China, if not perfected. That's a level of it. The UFOs, so-called UFOs, and all of the fugazi that was surrounding that. Yeah, they want to keep people looking in the sky. Three-Eye Atlas. I thought it was supposed to hit the earth. I remember all that hoopla. And I pick and choose what I'm really like focusing on right now, because if I get interested in something, I'll go all the way down the rabbit hole. You know, I'm very serious about like my research and my studying, especially when it comes to what's happening on our planet. But it's like flat Earth. What's the point of me looking into that? What does that change? How does that grow me? How does that expand me? Does that unlock any wisdom? Does that, you know what I mean? Is that unlocking? I'm looking at the people who are looking into it and they look batshit crazy. It doesn't really look that appealing to me because of the way you guys act, you know? And I ain't saying nothing y'all ain't heard me say before, but going back to the point, the blue beam element, I never would have thought they actually would have tried to pull it off. I was researching and seeing this stuff 20 years ago. I never in a million years thought they would have actually had the audacity to try to pull it off. And so all the stuff that's happened over the last 5 years, it's like, oh yeah, they really think they're about to try to pull this off. So when I say the gods are at war, like, yeah, I mean that. I really think the so-called, I know, the so-called powers that be, they're like thumbing their nose up at the Most High. You know, what you gonna do about it? You see what we doing. You see how we taking advantage. You see how we're ruling. You see how we're killing. You see how we're hurting. You see how we're destroying. What are you gonna do about it? You see the mountains again back there in the background. Peace, Derek. How you doing? I appreciate you. Elohim, what's good? Pranay, I think that's what that says. Peace and love. What's going on with your membership channel? I still have access, but the dues are not being auto-drafted because I put everything on pause. If you go check the page, you'll see I put up a notice that I stopped charging everybody in the membership channel because I had to shift gears and reprioritize my time and really focus and make my book my #1 priority so I can be financially stable and secure, because the amount of time, just managing my time, my output, the things that I'm focusing in on, and I didn't want to half-ass it and half do it. And so I stopped so that I could 100% focus in on what I got going on. So you guys still have access to all of the content. I'm just not charging any of the membership fees right now in lieu of that, you know? Zion National Park in Utah, which is Judah, is more loved than anywhere on earth. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. You should do a meditation there. That sounds beautiful. Wow, beautiful day out there. Enjoy it. It's a mess in BK. I know. I checked the weather. Right before I started this, I checked the weather. I think it was like 30 degrees in New York. But New York is beautiful in the summertime. Peace from Philly. Much love, family. So, all right, let's do this. I think I walked too far. And if I go that way, I'm going downhill. So we'll just take this. What is this, a left? Technically a left, but technically it's a right. We'll take this right. I was about to say bus a right. If you're from Cali, you know, or Oakland in particular. Bus a right. That's, you know? I was listening to my video too. I put up a short video clip when I met Cornell West, Dr. Cornell West at Soul Folks. It's on my Instagram and my Facebook page. But I was listening to myself as I was talking to him. I was like, man, I'm so California. Like, I'm so Oakland, but I'm so Cali. Like, Oakland has a specific sound, and then LA has a specific sound, and then Cali has a specific sound. So I'm Oakland and I'm Cali. And, you know, I've been in LA for 5 years now. So it's the culture is absolutely rubbing off on me. My tribe here is rubbing off on me. All of the things, you know. So I said the plasma grid in the sky. That's why they keep having everybody looking up. I mentioned the 3-eye atlas thing, all of the hoopla that was surrounding that, and now it's fizzled out and nobody's talking about it anymore. Again, the ping pong of consciousness. And so you might say, well, NASA said this or that. I don't believe anything these people say. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm saying everything that the mainstream media is projecting or discussing or focusing on has a bigger agenda. And so some of this is just about keeping people looking up in the sky and expecting something, right? You can, you know, look for 3-eye atlas, but won't see them lines in the sky to save your life. This is fascinating to me. There's a public library right there. I didn't know that. That's a good thing to know, because I also want to get my textbooks in the libraries. Black Matters Volume 1 is in all of the public libraries in Cleveland, Ohio. I think I told you guys that, but I made that move, or was able to make that happen. What is going on 6 or 7 years at this point. So sky watchers, palm tree lovers, you know, poets and thinkers and critical thinkers, and you know, we getting ready to have our moment. We getting ready to shine, and I feel it coming. All of us who have sacrificed and who went in the other direction in these last 5 years, who paid attention, who watched the signs, who got low when we needed to get low, who did the fasting when we needed to fast, right? Who refrained from the narrative of this world when we needed to refrain from the narrative of this world. Being in it and not of it, right? Let's see how my camera, my bad, y'all, I should have widened that. How you doing, Queen? Good. Oh, you good? Cutie pies. Come on, Dutchie. Another thing I love about, you know, people always say in California people don't speak. Everybody speaks to me, especially my people. I just, you know, I'm moved with a certain type of energy that people reciprocate it. I was talking to a friend of mine before I started this video, and I was talking about, you know, the hoax that they're calling the change of the climate. But I was talking about and the whole concept of a carbon footprint, right? And the fugazi of that. But then, like, the energetic footprint, and how I'm cognizant of my energy and my spirit and my mindset, and how everybody that I come in contact with or interact with or engage with, whether it's on these social media platforms or more importantly in person, that I'm leaving an energetic footprint. And so acknowledging that and being accountable for that and being responsible for that, right? Because a lot of times we're in the world operating, especially as Black people, we're in the world operating based on what the world is doing to us. My parents did this, racism did that, the white man did this, my baby mama did that, my ex-wife did this, my boyfriend did that, you know, all of the things, which those things are relative. But like, if we really start doing a self-check and a self-analysis and considering our energetic footprint, how are you impacting people? What type of energy are you, you know, embodying when you walk in the room? How are people reacting to you? Rimpau Boulevard, which is another street like Crenshaw, where people expect it to be super hood. But Crenshaw runs through like hella cities. I don't even know how many cities it is, but it's like it's not just one. It's not just LA or Compton. It like runs for miles and miles and miles and miles in cities. And Rimpaw is another one of those streets because you hear it in the rap songs where you think it's like major hood. Like, nah, you ain't getting in this neighborhood for anything less than $1 million. I can guarantee you that, unless it's like a studio type situation, in-law unit or something like that. But in this area, yeah, it's not a game. I'm with you on that, Nicole. She said, I don't believe anything I hear and half the things I see at this point. Greetings, Azik9, how you doing? You command your space and your presence is calming. I had to get off social media. YouTube is my last one. If that counts, I just can't handle it. No, that's real. And let me see. I'm about to pull up on you. Okay. I hope you pull up in love. And I shouldn't even have to say this, but like I do have to say it, you know? If you pull up in love. Because I got, you know what I mean? A lot of connections and a lot of my brothers is close. I shouldn't have to say that, and I know you probably mean well, and I'm kind of joking about it in a lighthearted way. But I have to say that because I am a magnet for, you know what I mean? Light attracts everything. It attracts love, it attracts light, it attracts abundance, it attracts the beautiful things, but then it also attracts hate and wickedness and low vibrational energy and all of that. And we're not here for that, you know? Those sunflowers are pretty. So I said that, maybe I don't need to say that, but I'm just saying, you know, that's the mindful, conscientious, cautious, and I know all of my brothers will understand, right, and appreciate that. And it's probably a couple of my brothers that's right here in LA that's watching too, you know. So I got to make sure I show you guys some love. And it's interesting because there's so much anti-male sentiment in these social media spaces, and I have to be mindful of this from a different place because my son is a young man now, you know. So it's like all of this, all men this and all men that. Like, yeah, it puts me in this awkward posture, not only because of my son, but because, as I always tell you guys, I know some real kings. It's some real good high vibration, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to work through it, trying to grow, trying to expand men in the world, black men in particular. And if you don't know any, then that's unfortunate for you. But I know many. And yeah, they got their shit with them. They trying to figure it out, you know. And I also know a bunch of squares and low vibrational, you know, weird anti-God type dudes is in the world too. But on a spiritual level, it is extremely counterproductive how much anti-male sentiment there is in the world, just like it's been extremely counterproductive of the amount of anti-female and anti-woman sentiment that is in the world. And men, you guys are paying the price for that now because you didn't check it. And women weren't the purveyors of these things. It was other men. So, you know, but to my point, it's just this very like, we're so scared of men. You guys are doing all of, I just like, I don't know. Because I'm self-aware, I take self-accountability. You know, I'm always like looking to try to work on myself and be better and do better and whatnot. And so as a woman, naturally, I'm going to hold women more accountable. Not just because we're supposed to be doing, you know, all the work or most of the work, because we're not. It's supposed to be a 50-50 shot. But because I know how powerful women are. I know how valuable and how important we are. I know what we bring to the table when we're in our right mind and in our right state of consciousness. So yeah, y'all can miss me with that. We hate men. I didn't mean to do that. Y'all can miss me with that. And I turned the camera around on myself, but I have, if you saw my social media posts, I have my hair in a ponytail. And it's a struggle ponytail, y'all, but it's a real ponytail. And I was so happy today. I'm bringing my camera in because you can see my shadow, and I don't like that look. But I wet my hair and then I pulled it back in a ponytail, and I was so happy. I got a little struggle ponytail, but it ain't really that cute, you know. So otherwise, I would turn my camera around and let you guys see it. But I did a video earlier and I showed my hair. But yeah, my long hair don't care game is coming back into effect. I think if it's January now, February, March, April, May, June, I think by the end of the summer, if I stay on my braid game and I keep my hair healthy, I'll have made a lot of progress. I will have made a lot of progress by the end of the summer. Not that anybody cares, but I will keep you guys posted if you're interested on my hair growth journey, because I'm doing it different this time around. I'm being very intentional about my hair in a way that I haven't before. My hair is very resilient. And so I have a tendency to take it for granted. But this time I'm being super intentional about it, so we don't do that. Let me tap into, yeah, all ponytails matter, exactly. Angela's Vista, baby, yes, 100%, exactly. When I see a row of palm trees, I know I'm home. You have a protective hedge that surrounds you like a shield. I received that. Peace, Spirit Wonder, how you doing? Carnelian Sunshine, peace. Just making sure I got it right, because people be butchering my name. And my name's only 4 letters, so imagine that. I think I told you guys one time I was at Starbucks and I ordered a drink, and they called out caca, like C-A-C-A. Oh, I lit that girl up. Not in a disrespectful way. I got jokes, so you know what I mean? You play with my name, you're gonna have to get this work. So yeah, I put some fire up under her, but it was funny. I had everybody laughing. I had the people waiting for their drinks laughing and everything. But it's like, really? Your common sense didn't kick in when you wrote that down, sis? And she was a black girl too. Your common sense didn't kick in when you wrote that, sis? So it was a cute little moment. But like I told my son, whose name is Nasim, you correct people when they mispronounce your name. You know, because white people will be quick. They're quick to take that soft A. Nasim, ZaZa, you know how they try to be funny. Allah, what they say, not Allah. They say, you know how they butcher it. Any name, Kareem, right? My nephew's name is Kareem, and they used to say Kareem, right? So they butcher that. I forget what the exact phonic tone of it is. Allah, right? ZaZa. Zakia, Kareem, like the way that the A is pronounced and the tone of it has a very high frequency. And this is why the call to prayer one of the reasons why the call to prayer in Islam, right? Even Islam, right? That right? The Om in Buddhist meditation, right? Om and then I have a meditation on the membership channel, Nicole, if you haven't heard it yet, but I have a meditation on there that is the Om and then the right? One for morning and one for night. It's in your library. But so the phonetic sounds resonates a certain type of frequency and vibration, and they just don't get that shit honest. You know what I mean? So you got to correct them. So like I told my son, yeah, you make sure they get it right. If you got to repronounce it, or if it might take a couple minutes for them to get it, but we're going to stop everything until you get it right. So it ain't no ZaZa. For all the people who can see my name clearly on my YouTube channel and they still do that, it's fascinating to me. No, it's not ZaZa and it's not ZaZa. It's ZaZa. And it means belonging to all in Hebrew. And then there's Ali, which means the exalted one of God or the Most High. So we're going to make sure we say that right. Not just for me, but for the ancestors and for everybody that, you know what I mean? Talk the talk and walk the walk so we could be here in this timeline right now. Talking this high vibration, spiritual, metaphysic type conversation. And I'm happy that you guys are here with me, because I know if you tuned into my content that's why you're here. We'll laugh and joke it up and, talk about We get hood, ghetto, you know what I mean? All of the things. I can't really say ratchet. I don't get ratchet. But every now and then the East Oakland will come out of me. I said on my stories, well, I ain't gonna repeat that, but yeah, but we still gonna keep it godly though, you know? Because that's really where God is found, in the cracks and crevices of the places where the forgotten ones reside. And that's where I came up, in a place where the forgotten ones reside, you know? So you can see this beautiful neighborhood right here. And I would love to walk up one of these hills, but again, I don't want to get out of breath and then I won't be able to talk to you guys. You'll just have to watch the scenery. So I'm going to try to pace myself with this walk here. Let me see where my battery is at. 35, 38%. Okay, cool. Go live when you get home. For what? You go. This is a lot of work. Are you going to pay me to go live when I go home? What's happening here? This is, you know what I mean? These things take time and energy. Now, if we could talk a dollar, you know what I mean? Calculating value and create a value system based on my hourly pay and my hourly rate, then yeah, I might do that. Everything natural about you is beautiful, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I received that. Thank you. Some people call we ZaZa. Yeah. And even, so yes, to the ZaZa, right? But mind you, I changed my name in 2015. So the ZaZa, the real ZaZaAli, you know, I precede and predate all of that. But I just think it's fascinating too, right? I feel like it's right on time, you know? Yeah, they representing the crime, representing the Most High. It works out. Peace and love, ZaZa from Brooklyn. Brooklyn was good. That hill is great for incline workout. Facts. That's why I like hiking, you know? I miss San Diego, ZaZa. I really appreciate you. I wish it was more ladies like you with a heart of gold. I'm praying for good friends to come in my life. I'm a Scorpio too, but it's got to be all in. Yeah, that's Scorpio. Scorpio is all or nothing. It's like we either care too much or we don't care at all. I had this conversation with myself the other day, like, bruh, I either care too much or I don't care at all. Those are like extreme polarities. And so, you know, I got to find that middle ground. That's where that discernment and that balance comes in. But I'm with you, sis. Right. And they want us to pronounce Dostoevsky or what's the word? Dang, it's just on the tip of my tongue. I almost said Wiener Schnitzel, but I think that would be relative too. But you know, all them long ass names. And even the German language, and I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. German, Russian, a lot of the European languages are very hard. They're not beautiful. They're not soft. They're not, you know, they're not loving and nurturing languages, right? It's like Russia sounds like, you know what I mean? Somebody could be telling you they love you and they think you the best thing since sliced bread, and it sounds like they want to kill you. Or like they got beef. It's not a sexy language at all. German, Russian, Polish, and there's a few others. But then we get back into the history of the Germanic tribes and all of the things that they went through and their war with nature and how that impacted them and how they've been at war with nature ever since. Hence the white lines that we were talking about in the sky. You couldn't just let it be beautiful, huh? Because if they weren't blocking the sun, it would be 80 degrees right now, easy. You couldn't just let it be beautiful, could you? You couldn't just let the trees and the tomatoes and the grapes and the oranges and the lemons, you couldn't just take the seed and replant it in the ground. You had to find a way to recreate the lemon without the seed, huh? Yeah, because they're at war with nature. You mad at God. I'm not mad at God. I'm striving to be aligned with God. We are not the same. That's a nice house. I like that color. I like the stained glass window on the main window right there. Okay, so y'all know I have a fondness for architecture and design too, so I'm always looking. This is a pretty house too. That Spanish rooftop. That's kind of a Moorish. This is not kind of, that's definitely the Moorish decor with the Spanish tiles. They call it a Spanish, I forget the name of it, that one right next to it too. But that all comes out of a lot of the buildings that you find in Moorish Spain. My email is up and working, yes. And if you have scheduled a consultation, my brother, I have not gotten any notifications. That was the last communication that we have, but my calendar is always up and always available for you to sign up whenever you're ready. And yes, my email is up. So this is another thing that I've had to do. I've been paying so much money for between my website, my store, my email, there's like 6 or 7 different companies that I've been paying for a long time to make my business operate. And I changed my email from G Suite to GoDaddy. But when I changed it, and I don't recommend anybody use G Suite because they pissed me off so bad. It took 2 weeks. It took a week at first, and then it ended up taking 2 weeks to get something done that really should have only taken a couple of days. When they want your business and when they want you to sign up, you can get everybody on the phone. It's smooth. They're offering you discounts, all of the things. But when you are a longtime customer, as I was with G Suite for 7 years, trying to get the most basic things done, and especially now where AI is kind of handling everything, they don't want you to talk to a human. They want you to deal with a chatbot. Man, you're talking about frustrating. But once I had that experience, it really made me sit down and do a checks and balances on a lot of the stuff that I was paying for that I don't need. So it started off as trying to switch my email carrier, and then it shifted from not just that to downgrading the amount of money that I was paying for my website host and changing, the particular plan that I was on. I completely canceled G Suite, which saves me $15 or $20 a month, which, is another subject. And I did a couple of other things too. So it was just the checks and balances in terms of stuff that I needed to do for a long time with my business. And that's relative because that's a business aspect. But I can make that same point with my personal life, with, let's say health and well-being, or, friendships and things that we commit ourselves to, things that we commit our time and energy to. Like, how much of this stuff is really fruitful? How much of it is really paying off? You know what I mean? How many relationships do we actually have that are reciprocal? If I had $1 for every black woman that I talked to in my grown woman years, that, always talked about pouring into other people, sacrificing for other people, being the matriarch, being the strong one, being the one who's always reliable and accountable, but then there's no reciprocal relationships. Everybody kind of leans on the strong one. And then everybody is also at the same time kind of like lovingly chastising the strong one, right? You shouldn't always be so strong. And okay, I get that. But why isn't the rest of humanity like coming together and doing a group, having a side conversation and being like, you know what, we're neglecting the strong ones among us. And we need them now more than ever. I had an interesting conversation. It's always funny to me how people perceive me online, right? And because you're only seeing you're only seeing a very small portion of who I am in these internet and social media streets. And so the conversation was based around, how I project so much strength and how it seems like I'm just, this super strong, I am woman, hear me roar type of female. And it's like, yeah, because that's what you guys gravitate towards, you guys to whom it may concern. But when I do the videos and I'm talking about heart-based living and frequencies and energy and self-accountability and self-responsibility, like what? You didn't see that? You didn't hear that? You don't hear me when I'm talking about protecting men and sticking up for men and being balanced and women taking accountability and being self-aware, you know what I mean? I'm a human being too, y'all. This is a very small portion of who I am that you guys see online. But outside of that, I'm very quiet. I'm very to myself. I'm a people watcher. So the perspective that people might have of me online, it is real because I am who I am. I'm passionate and fiery and all of the things, but Please, I've cried on these videos with you guys. I've, shared my weaknesses. I've talked about things that I'm trying to work on within myself, things that I need to work on within myself. Like, don't just project on me what that part. Look at the full picture. That's a nice house right there, right? And they got that corner lot, so that's nice. The weather is beautiful, yes. They even mispronounced Jermaine. Yeah, if you mispronounce Jermaine, you just trying to be funny. And a lot of times they be trying to be funny. And don't let me catch your ass trying to be funny. Because then, you know what I mean? Then we gotta, it's gonna be fun for me too, right? Your joy is shining through today. Much love, sis. I appreciate you. You're super cognitive since birth. Me? I hope so. You would be a zillionaire if you got paid for everything you give to us. Yeah. Or if I just took off my clothes and pulled a Lil' Kim or a Foxy Brown, it would be so easy if I would just be willing to compromise my integrity. Oh my God. But we're not doing that, because going back to Diana's point, I'm a Scorpio and I play the long game. So I'm willing to put the elbow grease in, the sweat equity. I'm dainty and feminine and all of that, but I've never had a problem with getting my hands dirty. I don't mind working. I don't mind the elbow grease, as long as I know that it's going to bear fruit. And the fruit that it bears doesn't always have to be financial. I get a very strong charge and a very strong, experience, for lack of a better word, through the things that people tell me in terms of how my voice and my work and my books have impacted them. So that's a payout to me as well. That lets me know that I'm on my square, that I'm on my ding, and that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So the payout isn't always just financial. And this is what I think, in this time where everything is sort of microwave, fast food, people want everything instantly, success. You watch some of the stuff online and you hear these, I'm 22, I'm a millionaire, and tech savvy people who are making money. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm here for all of that, especially having financial security at such a young age. But because I understand the laws of compensation, if you've read the Kabbalion, then the universal law we're talking about, then that just means that your struggle or your difficulty or your adversity is going to come in a different way. It won't be financial, at least in a certain space or timeline within your life. It might be relationship issues. It might be, self-worth or self-accountability. I mean, how likely are you to be a, well-balanced, loving, high-frequency, conscientious being if you just make $2 million or $5 million or $10 million when you're 22 and still wet behind the ears? And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because obviously I was 22 before. And I thought I knew everything too when I was 22. And I really didn't know shit. Excuse my language, but it's real. So there's no reason for any of us to be looking at that, especially right now, because a lot of people, the real struggle right now is financial. They're intentionally trying to squeeze us, right, to a point where we lose it, or where we give up on our hopes and dreams, right? Or where we settle. It would be easy for me to just pick and choose a relationship and then just settle for financial security. I'm just not built for that. Or it wouldn't be easy for me, but it's easy for a lot of these females to just take off their clothes and sell sex. I'm just not built for that. So I take the long road. I'm a writer. I'm a thinker. And I knew for a long time that I wanted to be known for my mind. And so here we are, me expressing and giving you guys, pause, my mind. I almost said something, but I have to keep my dark, witty Scorpio mentality to myself, because you know what I mean? Like I said, people be perceiving me a certain type of way, and it's funny to me. Oh, this is a beautiful house right here. I like the modern, white, clean look too. I like this garage. That's really nice. Okay. This is what I do when I'm walking by myself. A lot of times I take pictures of some of these houses that I really like, because when I build my own, I'm gonna pick and pull or pick and choose certain attributes that I like from these houses and incorporate them into my own. Is this lavender? No. Duh. That don't even look like lavender, right? It's okay, tears are sacred and they get bottled in eternity. Good day, Miss Ali. Good day, chat. You are correct. Everything meant for harm will be turned around in our favor. Facts. And that really goes for these last 5 years. And I know I repeat this all the time. In my mind, I'm cognizant when I'm repeating things, and I really don't like to do that. But that's just something that has to continue to be said, because you talk about World War III being a spiritual war, and it is. And I started making that point and I went left. But we're talking about what, Venezuela, China, Russia, all of the things. And those things are important, right? Especially when it comes to knowing what these people have the potential to do with the technology that they've created. But I do not for 1 second believe that they are going to use their toys to destroy any part of this world. When I say their toys, I'm talking about the big toys, not the stuff they're dropping in Venezuela and in Iraq and in Palestine. I'm talking about the stuff that they dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? It was Nagasaki, right? Correct me on that if I got that particular city wrong. But it took so long that those land masses are still recuperating. I mean, the levels of cancer and neurological and immune issues that it caused for the people in those areas is still ongoing to this day, right? So why would they risk that when they're controlling? First of all, they got 75% of the people to take that Jim Jones juice. That's relative, right? But then just controlling people, controlling movement, controlling sovereignty, controlling the way you think, controlling the way you feel. That's really how they maintain their power. And so I don't think for 1 second that they're actually going to. It's a beautiful yard. That's lavender right there for sure. I had a Becky moment, forgive me. I have them from time to time. We all do. I don't have them a lot though. I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't think they're going to risk that at all, because they understand, and the prophecy was written, that the real sort of method of war right now is in psychological warfare. So what would be the point of creating a plasma television in the sky and projecting a holographic image of a savior, be it Buddha, be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, which none of those men, none of those beings ever actually projected themselves or wanted to be anybody's savior. So there's that. What would be the point of them doing that if they, you know what I mean? It's a different level of the way that this war is unfolding right in front of our eyes right now. So we got to be on point. We really do. Oh, wow. Yeah, so I think I made my point about, I feel like I was saying something and I forgot it. I hate when I do that. That's definitely lavender because I can smell it. It's the other thing they used to do in Moorish Spain in the courtyards. They would build these beautiful courtyards in the castles, or in the what later became known as castles, these Moorish castles. And in the courtyard they would have jasmine flowers, lavender, all these really exotic, beautiful smelling flowers. And so when the wind would flow through the courtyard, it would send this beautiful perfume type of scent all throughout the corridors, all throughout the hallways, all throughout the rooms. And it was so like, you know, you think 700, 800 BCE. It's like, you know, very high quality type of building and planning and zoning and infrastructure and that they had implemented you know, a really, really long time ago when Europe was in her dark ages. So we literally had in close proximity to these areas where the Moors were ruling, whether it was Sicily or France or Spain, right? All throughout that European environment, not environment, but in those particular cities, in those particular nations, where they came in with these high science teachings of astronomy, not astrology, astronomy, you know, language. It's all in my book. I put all this in my book, you know? And so yeah, I feel like we're in a resurgence. Like I feel like I'm in my golden age, not like Golden Girls age. I'm talking about like the golden age of Kemet, right? The golden age of Moorish Spain, the golden age of Black America, which I'm going to be highlighting in my next book, Black Legacy, 100 Years of Black History in America. But I'm going to put on display the golden age of Black culture. And I'm also going to put on display the wickedness of the people that we've been living amongst who have been trying to keep that from happening again or consistently, you know? But I feel like I'm in my golden age right now. My physical body and my mental awareness and my spiritual capacity and my emotional groundedness are all kind of like coming together and aligning to peak. I'm not there yet, but I'm like right on the cusp. And so it took me to get to my mid 40s in order to get here. You know, I was watching this thing on, I think one of the Red Pill might have posted it, where he was talking about Carl Jung. And he was saying that you don't really start living until your 40s. And just, you know, what you go through in your 20s, what you go through in your 30s, etc. And like you turn this corner of awareness and consciousness at that peak. And I'm like, yeah, that's real. And now juxtapose that with the conversations in the Black community in particular, talking about women losing their value at, you know, after a certain age range. This shit don't even make sense. And why are you trying to negatively project on God's children? Just the same way I said all of the anti-male, anti-Black male. I don't know where the hell all these women came from that don't like men. No, I know where you came from. You came from the loins of men who don't like women. Your father's probably had, you know what I mean, some obstruction in his semen. Too much, you know, Hennessy or Mad Dog 2020 or cigarettes or hybrid weed. I don't know. But a lot of these men who don't like women have given birth now to these daughters who hate their fathers. And so because they hate their fathers and this culture that is very strategic now where all these women hate men, like I'm so glad I didn't grow up in that reality. I see so much negative language and projection like, oh, we're so scared of men. Like, bro, you don't have uncles? Y'all don't have cousins? Y'all don't have good neighbors? Every man in your life, every man that you come in contact with is savage or is, you know, hurting women or is like, that's not my reality at all. Now, trust me, you know, even with in my social media era, you know, I've danced and gone toe to toe with some of the biggest fuckboys there are. Proudly. I wear it as a badge of honor. You know, never heard about me yet being facetious, but I'm also being serious because I remember when I had a public situation with somebody that will go unnamed, and a lot of females were coming back to me and commenting on my videos and was like, yeah, that's what you get. You always trying to take up for men, da 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 da. Like, yeah, the same way there's a group of fuck boys, there's a group of fuck girls too. You know what I mean? I think you guys should go and get your own island and just go there and, you know what I mean, make it work. But they're one and the same is my point. So we're way out of balance with the I like that shirt, with the anti-woman and then the anti-male sentiment. And I ain't having none of it. If you either righteous or you not. You either wicked or you're not. You either love God and are trying to, you know, fix the situation and be a solution to the situation. You trying to embody love. You trying to embody light and righteousness, or you're not. You know? The fear game is the main tactic. Don't let them steal your summer in 2026. Your wisdom and knowledge have been so polished by your life experiences, so you can't be fooled by the nonsense. I appreciate that, sis. We're on 20% battery, so I think I got another maybe 10, 15 minutes, and my car is back in the other direction. So we'll walk down this hillside. So when I'm coming back up, this will be my second workout for today. Actually, I walked earlier. My workout game right now is top tier. I'm not even gonna lie. And the beautiful thing about it, this is one of the blessings that I have. My life experience has. Okay, pause for a second. Let me know if you guys can see me. I was talking about my discipline. It looks like the ticker is coming back up. So the time is moving, so hopefully I'm still live. But I was talking about my discipline in terms of my working out. And I'm not a trainer. I'm not going to the gym. I just made up my mind and made a decision that I was going to work out, do yoga for the next 30 days. And I've done do yoga for the next 30 days. And I'm also doing training, working with dumbbells and whatnot. But I'm doing it all from home. And don't nobody got to crack the whip or make me do anything or force me to do anything. Like, nah, I made the decision and now I'm just following it through and making it happen. This is a beautiful yard, right? Very colorful, very vibrant. Okay, let's back up. Good. Beautiful. This is very pretty and colorful. I'm here for the colors, you know? And I'm here for all of this beautiful nature. Very pretty. You guys can see the things I get giddy over. I get giddy over incense. I get giddy over palm trees. I get giddy over Mother Nature. I get giddy over intelligence. Intelligence is so attractive to me. I'm a real sapiosexual, okay? Let's be clear. Intelligence is very attractive to me. Self-awareness is so attractive to me. And I don't just mean that in terms of like being attracted to a man because he's self-aware. I just mean all of us. Like, yeah, you have a magnetic, element to you if you are self-aware, if you understand your energetic footprint and how it affects other people. If you care about the way that your language affects other people. I was thinking about this and I actually wrote notes for another video I'm gonna do, but how we talk about the power of music, right? And in his book, Hazrat Inayat Khan, which you guys know I reference all the time, what is it, the power of music or something to that effect. It's a nice house right there too, right? Hazrat Inayat Khan, who is one of my favorite authors, one of the great Sufi and powerful minds of our time. But he talks about, the power of sound, the power of frequency, the power of music, right? The power of instruments. But the thing that he really honed in on that a lot of people don't is the power of the voice, right? Because we're all kind of focusing on music and making that the focal point to where the only people to really hold accountable is the people who make music, right? Musicians, rappers, singers, people who are in the music industry. But that's a very small aspect of the bigger picture because the voice, remember the scene in Boys in the Hood? I feel like I did this in one of my videos before, but it was a long, long time ago, where I showed the scene where Doughboy. When Doughboy was young and he was on the porch and he was walking back and forth brushing his hair and his mother was like, yeah, daddy ain't shit, you ain't gonna never be shit, and da-da-da-da-da, right? Remember when Malcolm X said that he had a white teacher who told him you could never be a lawyer because your people would never support you, and that was one of the things that sort of sprung him into a life of robbery and being a pimp and white women and all of the things, right? So that one conversation that Doughboy had with his mother, and I'm sure, that's not something she said one time. She's probably been ingraining that. Yes, it was a movie, but I'm talking about the real Doughboys in the world, right? LA is full of them. All of the hoods in America are full of them. But that those conversations have way more a dramatic impact on the psyche of a Doughboy than a 2 Chainz or a Young Thug or an NBA Young Boy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the music is not impactful, because it is. But these are all people that my son listens to or has listened to, right? But he was raised right. So because I poured into him and my language was so affirming and so loving and so, accountable, right? In the way I carried myself, but the way I spoke to him consistently had way more of a positive impact than any music or any philosopher ever could, right? And so the flip side of that is that all of the negative language that your parents spoke to you, or that society speaks to you, or that mainstream media or the culture speaks to you, is way more damaging, especially in the family dynamic, than the music that you listen to. So it's just context. And that's taking nothing away from the social accountability. All these rappers now talking about the streets is dead, or what is it? It's the streets is dead, right? Basically like saying, we off that street shit. Yeah, but you got a catalog of 10 years of content and music where you pushing coke, or where you're pushing prostitution, or where you're pushing anti-female sentiment, et cetera, right? So what are you going to do to make amends for the continuity of that music? Because it's on wax. It's still alive. It's like my videos from 10 years ago or 15 years ago. People come and binge watch my content, and they're feeding off of my mentality 10 years ago, where I was at in my consciousness 10 years ago. And not hopefully, I know it adds value. Obviously they wouldn't, if they can listen in and then follow through to listen now, I know there's benefit and value, but I'm just saying, for a person that listens to a song from 15 years ago, it's new, it's fresh today. This is why it would have been beautiful to see Tupac really evolve from where he was in his 20s and to now Pac will be what, in his 50s, I think? To see where he would be right now with that spirit of the Black Panthers and all of the things that sort of made him be who he was. Much love, Jawa. I appreciate the super chat. I really do. One person showing me a little bit of, a little bit of love on this fine Sunday. I think, let me see. Watching in Malaysia. What's up, Malaysia? You're not Malaysia, but peace and love to the family in Malaysia. What's up, Malaysia? Music helps us tap into frequency and elevate our vibration. Singing also moves chi and helps uplift our spiritual resonance. Facts. And you know what else does that? Breath work. So it's a lot of different ways to tap into this science and this internal wisdom that we have. People ask me, we tired of talking about the problems, what's the solution? Well, one of them is to get control of your breath. One of them is to develop a healthy relationship with your breath work. That's the key to depression. That's the key to anxiety. That's the key to stress. That's how they lock us in this lack-based consciousness, this scarcity-based consciousness. It's the funniest shit in the world to me that we are collectively worried about water right now. When our water, how does that happen? Oh, well, the water is not drinkable. Well, you guys are talking about, artificial intelligence is getting ready to, advance humanity into the upper stratosphere. So nobody's used artificial intelligence yet to figure this problem out. No, because artificial intelligence is going to need the natural resources and the water to run. So now we have people making videos of fake Tupacs and Biggie Smalls and using our natural resources for weird shit. It's silly to me. I don't know. Thank you, Saint Germain. I appreciate you. Can you guys see the mountains there in the distance? The sun is starting to set. So it's a beautiful day, beautiful vibes. So the chi is critical, Nicole. Moving the chi, and that's one of the things that yoga does. That's one of the things that yoga, the cohesion of moving the body with the breath and being present and being focused in that way, the asanas, the postures, and the breath work regimen, that's one of the best ways. And it doesn't take anything outside of yourself to move that stagnant energy. If you got fibroids, if you got tumors, if you got heart disease, if you got eczema, if you have cancer, diabetes, all of the physical ailments, especially the ones. Now, isn't it that heart disease is one of the main, things that black people in America struggle with? And we be the main ones, that downplay the importance of emotions or the value of emotions. Yeah, you're an emotional being. Emotional. The goal is to master your emotions. The goal is to embody love. You know? AI wastes huge amounts of water.